But I find in my experience, so I entered corporate America in 1999, retired from a publicly traded company in 2013, and been in the coaching space and leadership development space ever since. And so I have found unlike the military where we come from, to where, there's a lot of leadership training, formal and informal. I find in corporate America, there is almost no leadership training or development, zero. I trick CEOs. I'm like, wow, that's great. You got a good business. I mean, what's your budget next year for capital expenditures, new plant facilities, machines? And they can tell, oh, 32 million. I'm like, that's great. Now the guy already told me our core values are people, the classic, our people are our greatest asset. So I'm like getting them, luring them in. And I'm like, that's great. Oh, it's awesome. That's awesome. I said, so what's your what's your budget for leadership development next year? I have never heard an answer, and this is a few dozen answers from a few dozen CEOs. I have never heard anything other than this. Zero. They look at me like,
right.
I'm like, Fred, do you understand what you just said? You're thriving. Your people are your best thing, and I believe it, but you're not training leaders, And then right. I hit them, this Fidelis corporate mug that I give to clients has a quote on the back of it. And the quote is, for the untrained, leadership is a school in which the tests are given before the lessons. And so I know you agree with that. You've seen it on my LinkedIn before. And I ask these CEOs, think about it. You're here, you're a survivor, you've had no training, but you made it. How many mistakes did you make as a young guy? Looking back, you're like, if someone would have just told me this and trained me, I could have avoided the same mistake that people have been making for decades and all that. And they're all like, yeah. And then some of them, of course, hire you and you put together a package and all of that. So it is definitely a dysfunctional family. And relative to what we do, if someone says, well, Andrew, Mike, why the hell should I hire you? It's all out there. Mike just said all these books. I just need to buy any book and follow it. Well, you can do that. There's the amount of materials available today for self-study are unprecedented. I'm still pissed off that YouTube didn't exist when I was young, because I'm on it every day learning about stuff, Yeah. So do you need someone like us? No. But what we serve, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. I say what we serve is, we take that anatomy and physiology and then some art of medicine, because every body's different and every prescription will affect the body differently and all of that for the same disease. And we package it and we present it in a digestible format that greatly accelerates a leader's comprehension of the science of leadership, the bones, the muscles, the joints, and all of that. And then we sprinkle in some of the art of leadership. But what happens out there, Andrew, and then I'll shut up, is vast majority of corporate America says, great, you're a great sales guy, you're a leader now in charge of 40 sales guys or whatever, you're showing promise, we're going to put you in charge of a department now that you had a team that did well, and just go figure it out. It's like sink or swim leadership. And unfortunately, a lot of people sink, and so I don't believe in that sink or swim, because we lose a lot of good people along the way. And worse than guys getting lost or fired is the people that are living underneath them in their departments, that are suffering under less than effective leadership, not good leadership, toxic leadership. So that's what people like us can help guys do. I say we flatten the learning curve greatly. Your thoughts?
Yeah, 100%. So I grew up playing tennis, having grown up in Florida, along with other sports. And so I think about it this way, right? If you want to learn tennis or get better at tennis and you're a beginner, yeah, you could watch YouTube videos, or you could play the people in your neighborhood and maybe find that best guy in your neighborhood or whatever. Sure, you can join a team, blah, blah, blah. But if you really want to get good, then you would go get a coach. It's pretty obvious. And for many things, I'm a big proponent of self-study. Like I said, I'm on YouTube all the time too. You and I read voraciously, but at some point you want to pay for a result. If I want my yard mowed and I don't want to do it, I need to pay someone to do it. I don't pretend that it's necessarily fun or easy. And if it's not worth my time, then you pay and you be happy with that exchange. I think sometimes when it comes to consulting services, coaching services, people are reluctant because it's a little more vague. It's a little more abstract. And frankly, I think they underestimate the complexity of leadership and the depth of training and experience that a very small portion of people like you and I have that they don't have, and they don't know what they don't know. Right. I was in the Naval Academy for 4 years, and I'm not saying everything we did there was productive, because a lot wasn't. Are parades really productive? I don't think so. I will die on that hill. Maybe you would disagree because you're a Marine. You guys like your parades, but the amount of leadership stories, dilemmas. It's not all doctrine. There's a lot of pattern recognition. So we studied a lot of vignettes and discussed, had a lot of case discussions about situations. Sometimes there's no right answer, but having grappled with those tough situations and dilemmas time and time again, you develop some muscle memory, and you develop some points of view about how to do these things. And so if someone really believes that leadership is important and they come to understand that, okay, it's not all easy, we can't take it for granted, then you pay for a result and you get what you pay for.